We begin with what could be some glimmers of hope. Yes, hope in the housing market. According to the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index, the index of homes has increased. Prices have gone up for the first time in 3 years. New home sales rose 11%, the highest increase in almost 9 years, and existing home sales are up 3.6%. Positive signs suggesting that the worst may, just may, be behind us. But folks across the country continue to complain that the Obama administration's Making Home Affordable loan modification plan, well, it's not gaining enough traction. Now, the Treasury Department talked to mortgage firms saying, hey, it's time to pick up the pace. Here to discuss the mortgage meltdown and how we can dig our way out is John Taylor. He's the president and CEO of the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. Welcome, John. Good to see you.
Hey, Jerry. Nice to see you.
All right, I want to show you and our viewers some numbers here, and it really describes what's going on. You see the pace of foreclosure starts higher and higher, and then the pace of loan mods, not keeping track at all with foreclosures. What's going on here? Why isn't the president's plan getting more traction?
Well, for one, you know, it's really dependent. It's a voluntary system dependent upon these services who manage these loans for banks and investors to voluntarily come in and participate in the program. And that's been slow to come. It was slow to come under the Bush administration. It's slow to come under this administration.
Why don't they want to?
It's happening a little more.
Right. Why don't they want to help? I mean, what's the holdup?
Well, I think, for one, I think that a lot of these investors and services are waiting for what you were just talking about, the market to turn around so they don't have to take as big a hit. So they're sitting tight, a lot of them. A lot of them don't have the capacity, they didn't staff up. And then for another group of services and investors, they want to offer something less than what the president is offering. The president's proposal, Making Home Affordable, actually will keep people in their homes long term. A lot of these services want to offer something less than that may result in another foreclosure or another modification, but they don't have to give as much.
You know, last week we asked you to write in and share your experiences with Making Home Affordable, and we got lots and lots of responses. And what's really interesting here is now these responses are really going to the next problem in the market, and that's unemployment, and that's forcing people into foreclosure as well. I want to turn now to two of our viewers. We promised we'd bring you on air, and we are. One is Marty Stahl. He is in Phoenix, and Alfonso Hall. He joins us now from Omaha, Nebraska. I want to start here with Marty and Alfonso. I'll get back to you in a second. Marty, you tried to get in on the president's Making Home Affordable program the next day after he announced it. Tell us about your story about trying to get a loan mod and why you were seeking one.
Well, I'm seeking a loan mod because, as you mentioned, many of us are unemployed. I was laid off in February 2008 and was starting to run out of savings, and the president's announcement sounded great. So what I did is the next morning I called up Wells Fargo, and they told me that I had to wait until April to file, and then the beginning of April they told me to still wait. I finally got to file on April 15th. I think that they accepted the filing, or whatever they call it, on April 22nd. And then I waited more and called every week to find out what was going on.
But you're not really getting traction here, right?
No.
But he's still frustrated. He's not getting through, and he's lost his job. So now he's in the worst of all worlds. Is there anybody to turn to at this point?
Yeah, I mean, lenders, again, I would, you know, if you weren't satisfied with the people who were trying to help you, the fact that they contacted was nice, but you really need to contact an agency, and I'll give you a number, Marty, in a second, but or legal aid that have the kind of leverage, because Wells Fargo, I know for a fact, is willing to work with some consumers. They weren't willing to work with you, and I don't know the particular facts relating to you, but there are levers that will get all these major banks to work with consumers.
All right, we're going to hook you, Marty, you and John up together, and you can have a conversation about how to go forward. But again, it's often getting somebody just focused on your case who actually knows how to work this system. All right, I want to turn to Alfonso for a second, because Alfonso was successful in getting a modification, and he didn't even use a service. He did it on his own. Alfonso, he's joining us by beeper now. Tell us, how did you do it? How did you make it happen?
First of all, what I did was I made the phone call. That was the first initial step. I was a little bit hesitant because I was a little behind from a car accident, and called them, and U.S. Bank had started the process. First, they filled out a form and found out what my income was, if I was still eligible, sent it in, went through the process, and after the first year, still hadn't heard everything. Called every 2 weeks, wanted to get the status on it. Nobody could give me any pertinent information. After the first year, there was a reduction in force at our company. I was laid off.
Wow.
And that really double-fold put me behind. Called them in February, set me up on some type of 3-month plan to make sure I could still make the payments. Made them for 3 months. January, called and says, I've made my 3 payments for November, December, and January. Where do we go from here? They say, continue to make the payments.
Wow, okay.
And you'll get a letter in the mail.
And you
after
did.
we made a decision. I got a letter from the vice president of U.S. Bank, and he said that my loan modification was approved.
This is a really great success story. You did it on your own, but it took you a while. It took you, I believe, what, a year to get this?
Yes, ma'am.
John Taylor, Marty Stahl, Alfonso Hall, thank you so much for coming, talking to us about this program, your experiences with us, and helping us out. Appreciate it.